In this video, I'm going to discuss 3 coverages that are found inside of a pollution liability policy and how they could benefit you and your business. And then I'm going to give you my recommendation on where you could go to get the right pollution liability insurance. But before I get into it, if you wouldn't mind giving this video a quick like, as it really helps to push this content out to other contractors like yourself. So many contractors are aware of general liability. Almost all contracts require contractors and subcontractors to carry general liability. However, most contractors are not aware of pollution liability and how it could affect their business. Now, contractors tend to only address this when they're either providing environmental services or a client continually requires pollution liability as a part of their contract. So, in order to get pollution liability, you normally have to buy it standalone. So when clients come to me, I have to explain that their general liability isn't intended to cover pollution related losses, and there's usually some exclusionary language inside of a general liability policy that completely, totally excludes pollution related losses. So in order to get this coverage, again, they would either have to buy a standalone coverage, and it's very important to communicate the exact coverages and contract for the type of work that you're doing to your broker to make sure that they get the right pollution liability plan to begin with. You'll be glad that you had the right insurance in place to avoid any hassles or mishaps down the road. So let's talk about 3 coverages that can either be added on or already included inside of a pollution liability policy. First and foremost is going to be transportation pollution. So most pollution liability policies will exclude coverage for claims that arise out of using any autos. Similar to a general liability policy, a commercial auto policy will also have some sort of exclusionary language for pollution related losses. So in order to make up for this gap, you can add on a specific endorsement known as transportation pollution coverage in order to fill in the gap to make sure that you have coverage if you're transporting or handling hazardous waste materials. Next is going to be non-owned disposable sites. So for instance, we have some clients that are liquid waste haulers, and their job requires them to go onto non-owned municipality facilities and dispose of liquid waste materials or toilet disposed waste. So their clients require them to have a specific endorsement added on to their pollution liability, and that's known as non-owned disposable sites. So for instance, if our client was to make a dispose and later on it was found to be contaminated at that certain facility, they would incur defense and cleanup costs when they were asked to clean up the environmental damage. So this is a super important endorsement that you definitely want to consider if you are disposing of hazardous waste material at non-owned disposable sites. Last is going to be emergency response and crisis management. So if you were to ever have some sort of pollution liability damage or environmental damage to a third-party site, you are definitely going to be called in to basically handle that situation as fast as possible. And so what this type of add-on allows you to have is the support to have a team of crisis response members that are there to make sure that things get handled properly if you were to ever have a pollution related incident. So now that you know some of the add-ons and coverages that are found inside of a pollution liability policy and how they could benefit you and your business, I want to give you a recommendation on where you could go to get the right pollution liability insurance. And my best recommendation is to give our agency a call and speak to one of our licensed representatives who could go over what you exactly do, what your exact needs are, and then fulfill your needs. Our telephone number is 858-277-1585, or you can feel free to click a link somewhere around this video and you can fill out a quick form and one of the members of our team will be in contact with you. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.